The more you chase, the more it runs. The tighter you grip, the faster it slips away. This isn't bad luck. This isn't the universe punishing you. This is a law as old as time itself. And 8 centuries ago, a poet named Rumi understood something about this law that most people spend their entire lives missing. You've felt it, haven't you? That desperate reaching for something that keeps moving just out of grasp. That exhausting pursuit of a person, a goal, a feeling that seems to dance away every time you get close. You try harder, you strategize more, you give more of yourself, and somehow, the distance only grows. It's maddening, it's heartbreaking, and it's completely backwards. Rumi wrote, "What you seek is seeking you." 7. Words that sound beautiful on a poster but contain a truth so profound and understanding, it could change everything about how you live your life. But here's where most people get it wrong. They hear those words and think Rumi was talking about fate, about sitting back and waiting for life to deliver your dreams on a silver platter, about doing nothing and expecting everything. That's not what he meant at all. Rumi understood something about the nature of energy, about the invisible forces that govern attraction and repulsion, about why some people seem to magnetize everything they want, while others chase endlessly and never catch anything at all. The difference isn't luck. The difference isn't worthiness. The difference is energy. When you chase something from a place of desperation, you emit a frequency. That frequency screams, "I am not enough without this thing. I am incomplete. I am lacking." And that frequency repels the very thing you're trying to attract. Not because the universe is cruel, but because desperation and fulfillment cannot occupy the same space. Think about it in human terms. Think about someone who chased you, someone who wanted you so badly they couldn't hide it, someone who texted too much, called too often, needed too deeply. How did that feel? Even if you liked them initially, something about their energy pushed you away. Their wanting felt heavy. Their need felt suffocating. You found yourself pulling back, creating distance, even if you couldn't explain why. Now think about someone you chased, someone who seemed just out of reach, someone who had their own life, their own fullness, their own sense of completeness. Didn't that make them more attractive? Didn't their independence pull you closer? Didn't their wholeness make you want them more? This is the paradox Rumi understood. This is the law that governs not just love, but everything. What you chase runs away. What you embody draws near. But why? Why does the universe work this way? Why can't we just want something, work hard for it, and receive it? Because wanting from emptiness creates more emptiness. Chasing from lack creates more lack. The energy you put out is the energy you get back. And when your energy says, "I need this to be whole," you're affirming your own brokenness. You're telling the universe, "I am incomplete," and the universe simply agrees. Rumi spent years learning this lesson. Before he became the poet we know today, he was a scholar, respected, accomplished, but also seeking, always seeking. He chased knowledge, thinking it would fill him. He chased recognition, thinking it would complete him. He chased understanding, thinking it would finally bring peace. And the more he chased, the emptier he felt. Then he met Shams of Tabriz, a wandering mystic who owned nothing, needed nothing, chased nothing. And yet, Shams had something Rumi had been seeking his entire life. A fullness, a presence, a completeness that didn't depend on external circumstances. Shams didn't chase Rumi. He simply was. And that beingness was so magnetic, so powerful, so undeniable, that Rumi couldn't stay away. The very thing Rumi had been chasing his whole life had found him, not because he finally caught it, but because he finally stopped running long enough for it to catch him. This is what Rumi means when he says, "What you seek is seeking you." It's not passive. It's not about doing nothing. It's about being something, being full, being complete, being whole. And from that wholeness, allowing what's meant for you to find its way to you. But we're so afraid of this. We're so afraid to stop chasing. Because if we stop, what if nothing comes? What if we're left empty-handed? What if our fears are confirmed and we really aren't enough? So we keep running, keep reaching, keep exhausting ourselves in pursuit of something that moves further away with every step. There's another way. What if you stopped chasing and started becoming? What if instead of pursuing happiness, you cultivated it within yourself? What if instead of chasing love, you became so loving that love had no choice but to find you? What if instead of desperately wanting success, you became so aligned with your purpose that success became a byproduct? Rumi wrote, "Be like a tree and let the dead leaves drop." The dead leaves are your desperate grasping, your endless wanting, your belief that something out there will finally make you complete. These leaves served a purpose once. They helped you grow, helped you reach, helped you understand what you wanted. But now, they're dead. And holding on to dead things only weighs you down. Let them drop. Not the dreams themselves, but the desperation attached to them. Not the desires, but the neediness that corrupts them. Not the hope, but the fear that drives it. When you release the chase, something miraculous happens. You suddenly have energy. All that energy you were pouring into pursuit, into worry, into obsession, it comes back to you. And with that energy, you can finally build something, create something, become something. The person who stopped chasing relationships and started building a life they loved. They became magnetic, not because they played games, because they genuinely didn't need anyone to complete them, and that completeness was irresistible. The person who stopped chasing money and started pursuing meaning, opportunities found them, not because they stopped working, because they stopped working from desperation and started working from alignment. An aligned action attracts resources. The person who stopped chasing happiness and started cultivating peace, they became happy, not someday, not when circumstances changed, but now. In the midst of imperfect conditions, in the middle of uncertainty, happiness found them because they stopped looking for it outside themselves. This is the secret Rumi discovered. This is why his words still echo 8 centuries later. He found the truth that most people die without discovering. You cannot chase your way to fulfillment. You can only become your way there, but becoming requires something terrifying. It requires you to stop, to be still, to face the emptiness you've been running from. When you stop chasing, you have to feel, you have to sit with the loneliness you've been avoiding, the inadequacy you've been masking, the fear that maybe you're not enough and never will be. These feelings are why you started chasing in the first place. They're uncomfortable, they're painful, they're everything you've been running from. But here's what Rumi knew: you cannot outrun yourself. Wherever you go, there you are. Whatever you achieve, you bring yourself to it. And if yourself is empty, no achievement will fill it. If yourself is broken, no relationship will fix it. If yourself is incomplete, no success will complete it. The only way out is through the feelings, through the emptiness, through the terrifying stillness of not chasing. And on the other side of that stillness is something you never expected. Yourself, whole, complete, enough. From that place of enoughness, everything changes. Your energy shifts. Your frequency transforms. You stop repelling and start attracting. Not because you learned a trick, because you became the thing you were seeking. Rumi wrote, "Why are you knocking at every other door? Go, knock at the door of your own heart." Every other door is every external thing you've been chasing. The relationship that will finally make you feel loved. The achievement that will finally make you feel worthy. The possession that will finally make you feel secure. You've been knocking at these doors your whole life. Some opened, some didn't. But even when they opened, you found the same emptiness waiting inside. Because the fullness was never behind those doors. The fullness was always behind one door. The door of your own heart. The door you've been avoiding. The door that requires you to stop chasing and start facing. What would happen if you knocked there? What would happen if you stopped looking out there and started looking in here? What would you find? You'd find pain. Let's not pretend otherwise. You'd find wounds you've been ignoring, fears you've been avoiding, truths you've been denying. The door of the heart doesn't open to a paradise. It opens to a mess, but it's your mess. And until you clean it, until you face it, until you walk through it, you'll keep chasing things that can never fill the void. You'll keep running from a shadow that's attached to your feet. You'll keep seeking completion in places that can only offer temporary relief. Rumi didn't become Rumi by chasing. He became Rumi by stopping, by surrendering, by letting go of everything he thought he needed and discovering that what remained was more than enough. That's available to you too. Not 8 centuries from now. Not when circumstances change. Not when you finally get the thing you've been chasing. Now, today, this moment. Stop chasing. I know how scary that sounds. I know how counterintuitive it feels. Your whole life you've been told to go after what you want, to pursue your dreams, to never give up. And there's truth in that. But there's also a shadow side no one talks about. There's a difference between pursuit and chase. Pursuit is moving toward something from a place of wholeness. Chase is running after something from a place of lack. Pursuit is aligned action. Chase is desperate, grasping. Pursuit trusts the process. Chase fears the outcome. You can still move. You can still work. You can still dream and build and create. but do it from fullness, not emptiness. Do it from love, not fear. Do it from peace, not desperation. When you do, something shifts. The thing you were chasing stops running. It turns around. It starts moving toward you, because you're no longer repelling it with your neediness. You're attracting it with your wholeness. Rumi wrote, "Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray." Silently drawn, not loudly chasing, not desperately pursuing, silently drawn. There's a pull inside you, a quiet knowing, a gentle guidance, but you can't hear it when you're running. You can't feel it when you're grasping. You can only sense it in stillness, in surrender, in the quiet space that opens when you finally stop. What you really love will not lead you astray, but what you desperately chase might, because desperation it makes wrong things look right. It makes toxic situations feel necessary. It makes empty promises seem full. When you stop chasing, you start discerning. You begin to know the difference between what you really want and what you think you want, between what's truly yours and what you've been conditioned to pursue, between the path meant for you and the path you've been forcing. Your life is not about catching things. It's about becoming someone whole, someone full, someone so complete that the world can't help but be drawn to your light. Rumi became that someone, not by chasing enlightenment, but by surrendering to it, not by pursuing love, but by becoming it, not by running after peace, but by embodying it. You can become that someone to stop chasing people who don't stay. What's meant for you will recognize you. Stop chasing success that keeps moving. What's aligned with you will meet you. Stop chasing happiness that disappears. What's truly fulfilling will fill you. Stop chasing. Start being. What's yours will find you, not because you caught it, but because you finally became the person it was looking for. Rumi knew this. Now you do too. That the question is, will you keep running, or will you finally stop long enough for your life to catch up with you? Let me tell you what happens when you stop, because nobody prepares you for this part. At first, the stillness is unbearable. Your mind screams at you to move, to do something, to chase something, anything. The discomfort of not pursuing feels like death. Every cell in your body has been trained to run, and now you're asking them to be still. You'll feel like you're falling behind, like everyone else is getting ahead while you sit in your stillness, like opportunities are passing you by, like life is happening to everyone except you. This is the test. This is where most people fail. They feel the discomfort of stillness for a day, a week, maybe a month, and then they go back to chasing, back to the familiar exhaustion, back to the desperate reaching that feels productive but produces nothing. But if you can stay in the stillness, if you can breathe through the discomfort, if you can trust the process even when every part of you is screaming to run, something miraculous begins to happen. The noise quiets, the desperation fades, and in the silence, you start to hear something you've never heard before. Your own voice, your own knowing, your own truth. This voice has always been there, but you couldn't hear it over the sound of your own running. You couldn't feel it beneath the weight of your own grasping. It was whispering while you were shouting. It was guiding while you were forcing. It was showing you the way while you were too busy chasing dead ends to notice. Rumi wrote, "Silence is the language of the universe. Everything else is a poor translation." In the silence of not chasing, you begin to hear the universe. You begin to understand its language. You begin to see the signs you were too distracted to notice, the doors you were too busy to walk through, the opportunities you were too exhausted to recognize. And then, slowly, things start to shift, not because you made them shift, not because you forced or pushed or manipulated, but because you got out of your own way, because you stopped blocking what was trying to reach you, because you finally became available for what was meant for you. The right people start appearing. Not because you chased them down, because your energy shifted and you became visible to those who are looking for exactly what you are. The right opportunities start emerging, not because you desperately pursued them, because your clarity increased and you could finally see what was there all along. The right feelings start arising, not because you hunted happiness, because you stopped running from yourself long enough to feel the peace that was always underneath. This is what Rumi meant. This is what those 7 words contain. What you seek is seeking you, but it can only find you when you stop moving long enough to be found. Think about someone you've lost touch with, someone from your past you wonder about. They exist somewhere, maybe thinking about you too, but you'll never cross paths if both of you are running in opposite directions. Stillness creates intersection. Stillness allows collision. Stillness makes finding possible. Your blessings are the same way. Your love, your success, your peace, they exist. They're looking for you, but they can't find a moving target. They can't catch someone who's running away from themselves. The great irony of chasing is that it's often running in disguise. You think you're running towards something, but you're actually running from something. From your emptiness, from your fear, from the terrifying possibility that you might not be enough. When you stop chasing, you have to face what you've been running from. And that's terrifying, but it's also the only way through. The only way to finally stop running. The only way to become still enough for your life to find you. Rumi wrote, "These pains you feel are messengers. Listen to them. The pain of stopping is a messenger. The discomfort of stillness is a messenger. The agony of not chasing is a messenger. They're all telling you the same thing. You've been looking in the wrong direction. You've been running the wrong way. You've been seeking outside what can only be found inside. Listen to them. Feel them. Let them guide you inward instead of outward. Let them show you the door you've been avoiding. The door of your own heart. The door that holds everything you've been chasing. When you walk through that door, you find something unexpected. You find that you already have what you've been seeking. Not the specific form you imagined. Not the particular person or achievement or circumstance. But the essence, the feeling, the completeness. You've always been whole. You just forgot. And the chasing was a symptom of your forgetting. A frantic search for something you never actually lost. A desperate hunt for a treasure you've been carrying all along. Rumi discovered this truth in the ruins of his old life, when everything he thought he needed was stripped away, when the chasing finally exhausted him into stillness. That's when he found it, the wholeness, the completeness, the peace that surpasses understanding. And from that place of discovery, he wrote words that would echo through centuries, words that would find you, here, now, in this moment. Words that were seeking you long before you started seeking them. What you seek is seeking you, not what you chase. What you seek, there's a difference. Chasing is external. Seeking is internal. Chasing is seeking is love. Chasing is about getting. Seeking is about becoming. What are you truly seeking? Beneath the specific forms and goals and desires, what is the essence you long for? Maybe it's connection, real, deep, authentic connection with another soul. Maybe it's peace. True peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. Maybe it's purpose, a reason to wake up, a meaning that makes the struggle worthwhile. Maybe it's love, not just romantic love, but the feeling of being completely accepted, completely seen, completely home. Whatever it is, it's seeking you too, right now, in this moment. While you read these words, it's looking for you, reaching for you, trying to find you, but it can only find you if you stop, if you become still. If you let go of the desperate grasping and open yourself to being grasped. This is the invitation, not to do nothing, but to be something, to be still, to be open, to be available for the life that's trying to find you. Rumi stopped chasing and became the most magnetic poet in history. His words travel across time and space to find the hearts that need them. He doesn't chase readers, his truth draws them, his wholeness attracts them, his being calls to their being. You can become that magnetic too, not by chasing harder, by stopping completely, by becoming so full of yourself that others can't help but be drawn in, by being so whole that wholeness recognizes wholeness. Stop chasing. What's yours will find you. It always does. It always has. You just couldn't see it arriving because you were too busy running away. Don't turn around. Be still. Open your arms. Your life is right behind you, waiting for you to stop long enough to receive it.